Sup everyone, welcome back to another video. I just want to start the video off by saying Genshin really doesn't need to do much for players to feel content with the content. A little play on words for you guys over there. But in all seriousness, I do want to take some time in this video to really applaud HoYoverse for what they have done with a potential filler patch, right? For the most part, Genshin has heavily focused on their limited characters as a main selling point, using it as a crutch in many cases, which to be honest with y'all isn't a big problem in of itself, as long as they continue to deliver top tier units that offer unique and interesting playstyles while also keeping up with player expectations for performance, alongside events, which gives an ample amount of gems and some cool lore to populate the world of Teyvat. You quickly get a patch that most can say they enjoyed playing. Well, you see, HoYoverse has at many times failed to meet this simple criteria, and patch 2.7 is the perfect example to show us why it doesn't take HoYoverse a lot to please their player base. And I'm not saying this as a negative point. I'm not saying you guys, oh, you got cheap thrills, right? No, I'm saying putting more attention to the little content that they actually do have and put more quality into these contents, as opposed to filling up the space with meaningless content that are just filler and doesn't contribute to the long running game. Firstly, the Archon quest is an integral part of the Genshin experience. It's the single piece of content that stretches across all the lands, and it guides the player through this foreign universe and grounds us to the culture, people, and environment. Without it, players will often find a lack of meaning and attachment, which is to be expected. You cannot pull us in with a life-altering event such as splitting up you from your celestial twin that you travel different worlds with, right? You spend multiple patches building up and teasing plot points and then drop it for months at a time while filling those dead space with characters that just pop out of nowhere. That's not how you tell a story. For the most part, side quests in an RPG game should be optional. They are there if you want to take time from the main quest to explore the world at your leisure. Genshin, for the longest time, has gotten it backwards, spending more of your time leisurely while once in a while partaking in the main quest. With patches 2.6 and 2.7, it shows how important the Archon quest is to player retention and satisfaction. It doesn't matter what kind of god tier storyteller you got working for you. Getting the players to care for every single side character that exists in the game is just not possible, at least not in the time that Genshin is devoting to these side characters. I don't have enough time invested into the game and its lore to worry for someone's shop needing 5 fowls and they can't get it because they can't leave the stall and their supplier has not come in with the usual delivery. I just can't. This is something of a trope in Genshin actually. For the most part, story quests aren't really story quests. They're just tasks. The lore has close to no real addition for the world. I'm talking about these side quests. The world building is meant to give you insight, but what we're doing here is that we are completing menial tasks for these side characters which never ever once again pop up in the story in a meaningful way. So here, in storytelling, there is an important rule known as the Chekhov's gun. Here's how it works. If you have two characters, let's say, walk into an old cabin and you describe the interior, as you scan the room, you mention a gun that is hung on the wall. The rule goes like this. If you bothered to use words to describe the gun, which is an object that holds tension in of itself, a gun is a tool of action and it oftentimes commands attention. Therefore, since you brought it up, it is likely that you will use it down the line in the story. This is one of the basics of good storytelling, not wasting time filling your world with meaningless details that do not serve purpose down the line. And Genshin violates this rule so much much that you can borderline get a restraining order for these story writers to how they've been dealing with the Genshin side story. It seems like at times they just don't care what goes out there. That being said, the Archon quest is really the shining star of this game. I mean, just look at patch 2.7. What does it really have? I mean, sure, you have a new character and a new Archon quest, but apart from that, it's really just a filler patch to an eventual Sumeru and Dendro release. Yet the community is really moved by this patch. Why? I don't think I need to tell you the details because I pretty much spelled it out already, right? In the end, it's not about how much meaningless content that you cram into a patch, but work and polish what little you do put to perfection. Genshin 2.7's Archon quest may go down in Genshin's history as one of the greats, and no amount of side quest filled patches with Primo Gems will impact you more than this Archon quest. On the top of your head, how many filler quest characters and story do you remember versus the Archon questline? Well, not that many, I would hope, because you could say the side quests were designed to fill time and not really meant to play a major role in the game. Collectively, they serve a purpose, but just as the name implies, they will always just be side quests and side content. I hope HoYoverse can take their success and see how little they truly have to do in order to satisfy the community. Little as in the amount of content, but not the quality. Focus more on the stuff that leaves an impact and really hammer home how much emphasis they have on quality. Also, I just want to touch up a little bit on the character as well, because let's say if this patch was simply dropped with an amazing Archon quest, but then you get another character that's built up and hyped up like Yaimiko, and then just watch it all fall flat on the face. That's also gonna leave a sour taste in your mouth. The reason patch 2.7 works so well is because not only do we have an amazing Archon quest, it's also in conjunction with a solid character that players can see themselves utilizing for a long time. This character is not here to sell you on just looks and a fantasy. Well, okay, not quite, but you get what I mean. Alright, you get what I mean. The character itself has functional utility, it has damage output, it to some people have solved an issue for their team compositions. Whereas Kazuha was able to facilitate a lot of the elemental damage dealers, he was unable to do it for the niche options such as physical damage and geo units. Yeah, I'm not saying Yellen is here solely to do that, but I'm saying now people have an option. These niche players, and in a way the minority of these players have an option. Not everybody needs her, but she is a great unit overall. She doesn't break the game, she doesn't power creep and make old units useless. So a great character in combination with a great Archon quest, that's all you need. And not to mention, this is a filler patch, people. Finally, with this, I leave you with a reminder that we still have potentially the Summer Islands to come along with Sumeru soon after that. We are going to have more content than we can handle in a couple of months. And with slow patches like 2.7, I'm honestly thinking that we may be overwhelmed here really soon. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope this has broken everything down nicely. I'm glad to see newer players come in. I can finally, hopefully, recommend people to give Genshin a try, because I've been holding people at bay like Spider-Man holding that train in the first movie, because I felt awkward selling people to the idea of playing Genshin even as a side game, because I don't want them to get invested in a game that lacks potential. But hopefully more patches like this, more content releases that shows HoYoverse has more emphasis on quality over quantity. This will be a definite factor in influencing more players to not only come in, but older players to stick around as well. With that said, the name's EroticWalruss. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, urge you all to stay safe and peace.